This is Shadows in the Peaks, a Legends of the Five Rings actual play from Stories with Dice. If you're enjoying our actual plays, please subscribe to Stories with Dice so you never miss an episode. Don't forget to rate and review us. It really helps others discover the podcast. Follow us on social media to stay updated. You'll find the relevant links in the description of each episode.
Hi, it's the penultimate episode. Oh my god, how did we get here so quickly? That'll teach me for doing a short story. Marco, how are you?
Hi, Lord Edward II. I'm fine. How are you?
Yes, I'm good. I think more people should call me High Lord. I think that's...
I didn't put that in there, by the way. That must have been you.
It was never me. I wouldn't do such a thing.
That sounds like sarcasm.
Okay, maybe it was me. We are joined, as ever, with Scott.
Hello, penultimate session, and my copy of Way of the Unicorn has just arrived.
Yay, just in time.
So I'll be playing this game, playing a unicorn. I still haven't had a chance to read it, so I'm just going to be making it up as I go along like I have been for the previous 8 weeks.
We'll play Five Rings again at some point, when there's a...
Exactly.
When there's a Simbaroom game that we're not playing.
Season 2.
Don't get me started. We're
currently scheduled circa 2037.
Something like that. We're also joined by Charlotte.
Well, hello there.
Another person who's going to run me Five Rings 5th edition and try and convince me that it's a better edition. We'll see.
We'll see what we can do.
And then finally joined by Nobody Loves Me, Tony.
Yes, because indeed nobody loves me anymore.
What did you do?
Life.
What did he do? I'll tell you what he did. He promised to be here for the schedule for the One Ring, and now he's telling me he made plans with his wife.
I mean, how dare you do something like that? I would never do anything like that apart from the next
I
session.
take divorce very seriously.
Tony, you really got to get your priorities sorted out.
Tony, it can't be both of us. It's got to be her or me.
What are you offering, Marco? I mean, I don't know.
I like the way he's negotiating.
I know. Yes.
I like that wasn't just immediately the end of Tony's illustrious podcasting career.
Well, I haven't done this for a very long time.
What do you mean, a total party kill?
I mean, I haven't done that yet. It's only a matter of time. Scott, what happened last session?
What happened last session? That is a very good question, Ed. We were, as I recall, didn't horrible Shadow Samurai rock up and start beating the snot out of all of us?
Horrible Shadow Samurai did turn up out of the middle of nowhere and start beating the shit out of some of you. Other of you...
Please note, PG listeners, I said snot. It was Ed who swore.
I swear a lot, this is not a PG game or a PG podcast. Things like fuck, bollocks, shit is all perfectly acceptable. Yes, that's true. You had some samurai that turned up. Anything else that was...
Our Shugenja ended up going absolutely wibble and passing out and having all kinds of black vomity horribleness.
I did no such thing.
To her. No, it was the other Shugenja, the NPC Shugenja that we had no control over. The one who is obviously less effective than I am.
Obviously. Anything else?
I've slept since then, Ed. You can't expect me to remember more than 2 things.
Anybody else want to up the ante with that?
I defended the big daimyo, right? With my super family sword, sacred family sword.
Mm-hmm.
And I fought alone against the shadow.
Anything happened in that interaction that you remember that was kind of important?
The evil shadow samurai said something to the leader about a debt.
Yes. Good one.
We have come to collect the debt you owe us, I think was the words.
Chan.
Yeah.
Ta-da! And that's where we're going to kind of pick up for exactly where you left off. Maybe we'll call it a half hour, 45 minutes later. We'll kind of go round. So, Agashia Yame is looking after Mirumoto Akari, and she's now settled down and is, for all intents and purposes, being looked after by servants and stuff to kind of keep her, I guess, calm and relaxed. And she's kind of gone in and out of consciousness, and she's now settled down to sort of just being unconscious and sleeping. We kind of then went across to Scott, Hiroshi, and Akira. You fought one of these things with the crab samurai, and it kind of went down, and you managed to essentially kill it.
I think, just to increase my own recollection, As far as I'm aware, it was Akira and the Crab Samurai who did the fighting, whilst Hiroshi stood and defended the doorway.
Correct.
To Akira's displeasure.
Yes, this is true. And then, well, in fact, actually, during the sort of previous session, Akira found out about passageways that were dug under the castle on the keep in the mountain, basically spoken to one of the spies for the Unicorn investigation family, had kind of got some information from them saying that, yes, a lot of the family used the tunnels that go around. And then, Hironobu, you cut down the dark samurai or whatever that was attacking the daimyo.
Mm-hmm.
And then he said, we've come to collect a debt. And then you took him out. That's where we kind of ended it. So it's about 45 minutes later. You've all kind of come together to kind of explain what's happened previously. Is there anything you would like to do as a group, having found out that information about what to do next?
Where are we in relation to the Lord?
If you wanted to be with them, that's not a problem. I mean, the revelation was pretty damning. Well, I guess, first of all, Hironobu. That's quite a damning thing for a creature of darkness to say. Now, it was you and the daimyo's younger brother, daughter, and a couple, the Hatamoto, and a couple of trusted retainers, and you. So you're the only ones that now know this. Would you impart that information to the rest of the team?
Yes.
Okay, that's fine. In which case you have, well, I guess, some questions, I guess, to ask. What, where, how, all the rest of it. But more importantly, how does that sit with your ideals as a samurai? Following the codes of Bushido and the codes of Shigenja, how does it sit with the family having made some kind of deal, debt, or something to what clearly looks like a corrupted entity?
The problem is that I cannot demand anything to the daimyo. He's still
the
big
daimyo,
boss, right? So I cannot be an ass. I need to do it. I don't know. And perhaps I can ask, but in a very diplomatic way, I guess. I don't know. Can I roll for etiquette to know how
you can, yeah, absolutely.
Because that's, I guess I wouldn't even know how to even start as a player.
I mean, normally you wouldn't interact with a daimyo at this level. You'd usually go through an intermediary.
May I make a suggestion? Let's grab his daughter. Let's bring her in on this.
She was in the room when it happened.
Yeah.
Because we might not have this status, but his own flesh and blood, it's a bit of a shorter gap.
Like the idea.
And if she has dreams of gaining rank and status on her own, she could potentially use this as a way to climb the rungs faster.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, why not? But she was in the room now. She was not in the room, no?
No, I mean, she was in the room at the time, but obviously now, we'll say you kind of have got together separately from everyone else to kind of have a conflab of all the information so that all the stuff that's happened previously you can kind of talk about and say you would have done that. As a group, what's the next steps that you would like to do?
I would like someone to take care of my wound. That's just me speaking selfishly.
What's your healing spells like, Charlotte?
My what?
Nope, none.
I don't think I have any. Let me double check that.
Let me check. Muramoto Yana, I think she does.
So why are you automatically going to the woman to assume that she might have healing skills?
Because you're the only one with any kind of magic or ability whatsoever that isn't bopping people on the head. I mean,
or because Ed is sexist. Take your pick.
I mean, there is also me. That. Yes,
that's what they call me, sexist Ed. That's me.
No, for those who are listening, and if this may be your first time, Ed is not sexist. I was just making a joke. Ed is actually a really good person to play with.
But it's really funny when we mock him for it.
I mean, I'm used to it. It's fine.
I know. I got protection. I don't have healing.
Marco, you can heal 15 wounds.
That is the exact number of wounds that I have.
That's handy. The Hatamoto, who's a Shigenja, she will heal you a whole load of Shinsei's blessings on you, and then cast a spell which makes you sort of like feel very warm, and then your wounds that you have like bind over, leaving slight scars. So it doesn't feel blemish free, but there are sort of slight scars on them. Yes, that's fine. So you get healed.
Thank you. I appreciate it greatly.
So she'll be there if you want to ask her anything.
Me? No, I don't want to ask her anything.
Does anybody else want to ask her anything?
I'm fair. Has she completely recovered now from her ordeal?
No.
Yeah, sorry, I was thinking wrong. Shugenja. No, I've got nothing to ask her.
I don't know if we can ask her about this depth thingy. I mean, I roll a 25 on my etiquette thingy?
Yeah, so technically you would ask the Hatamoto, you might ask a lower status samurai to then to request an audience, and you might then have an audience with the daimyo at their convenience. So potentially they're going to be months away. But considering what's just happened, and you have just saved the daimyo's life, which means I need to give you some
attention.
Yeah, it means that your chances are you'll probably want to be spoken to. It doesn't help asking the people that do all the work around the castle to do it for you.
Should we also bring in Kobayashi Fumio into this? He's our man on the inside. He might know a little bit more.
He is the no-win scenario.
Yeah, I mean, you could ask that question. There's no reason why you couldn't. But remember, you couldn't find him.
I'd say let's bring in the daughter to try and sway her to our side before we try and make any moves against the daimyo himself.
Okay.
And she could also help us get that meeting set up.
Yes, she could. Okay, so Muramoto Yuna will come along, do the healing, check you're all okay, and then wander off again. You then request Zurui Aya to kind of pop in and see you, which she does. She's looking less prim and proper than you'd expect her to. She's still wearing her armor, and when she comes to speak to you, she gives enough etiquette and shows enough deference to kind of like come and see you, but she's clearly in a hurry, so it's everything, all the bows, all the kind of like conversation is very clipped and very quick to sort of like, oh, hurry up, what are we doing here kind of thing, but without saying that. You know, I want to be somewhere else. This isn't where I want to be, but we'll be polite about it. What do you want to ask her?
Well, first off, we appreciate you coming when the state of your house is in disarray. We discovered some information during all this that we feel you may want to know.
Yes, go ahead.
And then I'll let Hironobu carry on with what he saw and heard.
During the moment of chaos in the house, and when the mountains exploded and the earth comes shake, I went right away to check on the daimyo to make sure that he was safe. I was very surprised when I arrived there. Darkness appeared on the room. I don't know if it is called the throne room, but on the throne room, or
it was the daimyo's reception room, I guess.
Reception room. Being on the reception room, a darkness that I've never seen before. I fought bravely to protect the daimyo, and thanks to the sacred katana from my ancestors, and I touch it lightly. Somehow, this caused that my attacks were effectful, had an effect, and I was able to fight back this corruption, this darkness. But before it disappeared, this shape, because it was indeed a shape of a bushi, of a samurai, a dark samurai, mentioned something that shook me to the core. I've come to crash my debts. In a way, saying that somehow your house was in debt to this shadow, to this bushi, to this samurai. Wouldn't you happen to know anything about this?
She looks at you, because given your last interaction with her, she says, yes, I was shocked to hear that said about my father, and I was not aware of any dark pact or deal or oath or anything like that between my father and any corrupted beings. She says, I am I to believe that you will have to make this knowledge available to the rest of the clan?
That depends on you.
What do I need to do to offer the safety of my father to whatever has happened?
I think you should concern yourself less about the safety of your father and more the safety of your house at this point.
Absolutely. The Zurui family would be very dishonored should this information go anywhere. And I, of course, will do whatever is required of me, as is my duty.
That is good to hear.
Because by the end of today, you may be the head of this family.
She doesn't look happy about it. She says, as the investigators, what is the next step?
We will confront your father.
And we would like your assistance in this.
Of course.
And if it goes badly, you are not to get in the way of what must be done.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Perhaps we can offer assistance to the family.
Her hand pretty much goes to her wakizashi and katana, but she sort of like stops and she says, I will do my best to honor my family and my clan. Okay, let's go and speak to my father. Come. And she gets up.
Are we all ready? Do we need to do anything?
I am assuming at this point that we are all still in our kimono and going in front of the daimyo armed with, say, a giant naginata would probably be considered
bad.
Well, not good.
Yes.
But with everything that just went on, we're still uncertain if there's any hostiles in the building, so being decked out would be reasonable, in my opinion.
Yeah. You'd be able to, wander your swords and stuff. If you were to go to sort of visit the daimyo, you'd probably put your naginata outside and take your wakizashi and your katana with you and just lay them in the appropriate place.
Okay.
It's a bit hard to wield the sort of naginata, but you can definitely have it nearby.
He will keep the naginata to hand, if not on him. Then he'll take it with him.
Yeah. So as you sort of make your way again back up to the top of the castle, there are reports coming in that there have been others sighted throughout the castle, and some have been taken down by other members of the various visiting samurai, monks, the students at the keep, as well as even a couple of peasants or a large group of peasants have managed to subdue and kill one of them. It seems that what happens is once they have been dispatched, the body stays around for a short period of time before it basically doing exactly what it did, how it came to being. It disappears into this formless, smokeless substance and then disappears, leaving nothing behind. And so as you're sort of making your way towards the daimyo's chambers, a load of samurai from various different statuses and ranks kind of make their way to Ai and kind of just give updates, which she has to do. So it takes a bit of time. She has to keep stopping and starting. She's shown sort of damage that's been done, or she'll see to someone who's injured. She won't see to them, but she'll ask after them and check that everything's okay. So as you're sort of going with her, you get the sense that she would make a particularly good and caring daimyo, and she's already sort of proven that she's willing to do whatever the duty says, or so she says anyway. You haven't seen it actually happen yet, but you make your way to Tomo's reception room. Same thing as before, Hironobu. It's not as big as you would expect the cranes one, or the same for the unicorn, but it is a suitable size for someone to receive reception. You can see where the tables that were all overturned during the course of the fight have been moved away, and fresh tatami mats have been laid down. The daimyo is on his knees, sitting next to a board with his chop and his writing implements. And as you come in, you're not stopped by anybody. As soon as they see that it's Ai that's coming along, people get out of her way, and she comes in and says, "Father, the investigators wish to see you." And then she turns and sits on his left-hand side.
Okay.
There's a couple of other samurai there. They kind of motioned you to sit in front of him, probably about 10 foot in front. And there are 6 cushions arranged in a sort of parallel line for you to sit in. And then he waves them away, and it's just you, him, and his daughter in the room.
I will sit with my, daisho to my right, and I will bow.
Bows back to you, and in a very curt voice, he says, "How can I help you, investigators?"
Will speak and say, "I'm very sorry, Zurui-sama, to bring this to you today. But as you are aware, I was present during the fight with the Shadow, and I was happy to be able to protect you and to save you from this horrible apparition. But the words that this entity mentioned at the end shocked me to the core, and I tried not to look directly to him, to give him a kind of not to annoy him or to deference to him. And if there is any way that we can help you with this entity, please do say so."
What my companion is trying to say is we would very much like to know what is this debt that you owe these abominations.
I think it is probably better that I show you. Pete, would you accompany me?
Where?
Below the keep, there are corridors that we use that have been around for a very long time. It is there that I will show you.
When he mentions the corridors, I'm going to look at his daughter and see if she makes any kind of tick towards mention.
I guess investigation is probably your best bet.
24?
That'll do. Yeah, she looks a little, not confused, she looks a little surprised.
Good.
He says, please, come with me. And he gets up and he picks up his wakizashi and katana. He turns to the mon of the Zurui family and he kind of bows to that. And he says, please, come with me. As he goes to move, about 10 samurai appear out of nowhere. He waves them off and says, no, I will be going on my own. I have these as my rescue. They will be fine. You can see all the samurai looking particularly nervous. All his local bodyguards like, what? But he sort of waves them off, and he sort of takes you down a very personal back service area, which you guys would never ever go down under normal circumstances.
Am I able to grab my naginata on the way down?
Yeah, that's fine. You can grab that. And he sort of takes you down the back end of the keep, and he takes you to a wall, which looks like any old wall, and he kind of moves it, and it very quickly turns into a door. He says, this way, please. And he starts to walk down this set of stairs, heading down deeper into the bedrock itself. As he kind of makes his way down, he says, the hall was built many, many years ago when one of my ancestors had realized that there was jade within the base of this old castle, and they built some of these corridors to mine some of the jade. You can see sort of like as you're kind of going through it, now it makes sense that this is sort of like a mine that has then been almost smoothed out to accommodate maybe 2 people standing abreast, but it's not particularly high. So, if you had any kind of like no dachi or your naginata is difficult to wield around these corridors. He says, about 160 or so years ago, my ancestor Zurui Ito carved the chambers to preserve our ancestors' history. And as he says that, he walks into this large chamber. The chamber itself is a large circular chamber. There are 7 stone doors marked on each of around the circular chamber. It's all carved from what looks like an obsidian veined stone running through them. Sitting in the center of the circular chamber is an altar, which again is sort of this granite jade kind of altar. At the very back of the chamber, as you come in, there is this heavy shadow sort of like lining the wall at the back of the actual chamber itself. As soon as you walk in, Ayame feels the hum of void energy.
I'd quietly say to everyone, be on your guard. There's darkness abound.
This is the legacy that we have. He said, I thought it was to preserve it, but it's not the case. When Ito decided to build this, our family was dying. Trade routes had collapsed. The Kamis turned away from us. And Ito, he listened to something beneath the mountain. And he basically points to the altar. And then he points past the altar to this like shadow of darkness where the lights are sort of like not quite hitting it. As he walks in, you can see on all the different walls around the room, there are all these carved names. As soon as you look at them, as soon as you look at the names on the carvings, as you get closer to it, it blurs, so you can't actually read the names. The further away you get, the clearer they become. The closer you get, the harder it is to read the names. He says, each generation, we give something. A truth, a name, a voice. My grandfather could not remember his brother's face. My father forgot his own wedding vows. And I gave up what my mother sounded like. This pact that was created between the darkness that listens and my family allowed us to be the best that we could be in regards of facing threats. And part of our technique is linked to this. We learnt the trainings from darkness that listens.
You really your best if you're consorting with demons?
He looks at you and says, I was told it was protection to our family, that it would allow us to offer our best services it was not corruption. Our best Shigenja had found no corruption. It lives in this, and he basically points to all the jade around. So how can it be?
If a retainer were to take Koku from your treasury whilst counting it and then hand it to his family, would that not be corruption? It may not be corruption in terms of the shadow taint, but it is corruption nonetheless. Abuse of one's position is corruption of a sort.
So I is looking around, looking particularly agog at all the kind of stuff that's happening. And he says, we pass this tradition on when the next person ascends to daimyoship. We have to take the small debt to allow us to honor the clan and to do our duty, as we should. He looks all at you and says, of course, I am willing to do whatever I can to help you.
So help me understand, what is this debt that you owe?
Debt is forgetting something. The debt is giving you already
forgot your mother's voice. You've spoken a lot about this darkness that listens and your family, but I am still not understanding the debt that you owe this creature. They attacked your castle for a reason.
I think it is time that we need to redo the debt. I guess I have been a daimyo far longer than my father or my father before them. And perhaps maybe it is time for me to either, well, he looks at you and says, I guess I only see three things that we can do. Either redo the pact, cancel the pact, or create a new pact.
Where you see three, I see one.
He looks at you.
Do I think he's telling me the truth, or is he withholding something?
I'll make an investigation roll for me, please.
Also, on that line, does this have anything to do with why the Agasha family broke away from Dragon?
It could be. It definitely is never... It's around about the same sort of time.
So would I have any even half-learned information that would kind of connect these dots?
What skill would we use for that? So I'll get back to you in a second. 1 second, Marco.
I have a 23.
Do you know, I reckon it's going to be... I think it's going to be spellcraft. And I'm going to require a difficulty of 40.
What?
Because it's quite an unknown information. So it's going to be very difficult. Obviously, feel free if you wish to use Void, if you have any left.
Well, I just have any. Did I meditate after using all my Void up last time? When did I meditate last? Where am I? Who are you all?
Make a meditation roll for me.
Yeah, I think I used up my Void last session, too.
Yeah, I didn't fight last session, though.
No, you probably don't have enough.
Out of 5 dice, I got 14.
That's terrible. Yeah, maybe not. You just didn't have enough time to do that after all the things you've done. So if you've not got any Void left, then you haven't got any Void left. I don't know. Let me check your Gary sheet. It says you have no Void points left. So
yeah, no, that's what I'm looking at. It's like, and then I was wondering, it's like, when did I last meditate? What have I done since then?
No, it's been, yeah. So you would have had sort of like the 45 minutes after the fight kind of thing.
Yeah.
To do anything.
But I didn't fight, so I wouldn't have needed to use it. Unless I used it to try and help her.
I think you did. I think you used that
possibly.
to
all right, well,
cast out the darkness that was taking over.
Yeah. Anyway, I'll try the spellcraft. I've got...
Give it a go. Give it a go.
Yeah.
Usually when I give these kind of crazy target numbers, players usually get them.
27.
So no, you were never privileged to any kind of information around that. But it is around about the same time that you separated. So it could well be that there might be something in there. So yeah, Marco, is he telling the truth? He appears to be telling the truth. Is there something he's leaving out? If he is, he's not specifically trying to deceive you. There might be just more things that he's trying to think of and it's just not coming. So it's a very halted thing. And he seems very unsure of himself. He's, a well-known daimyo. He's well thought of, and he's definitely not being that with you. So he's kind of letting his guard down quite a bit.
Okay. I'm just trying to understand what debt he owes these creatures. It's because based on what he said, it sounds like he's already paid that debt.
He has. He assumes that the debt is paid every single either per daimyo, but that might not be the case. Maybe it is every 10 years, 15 years, however long it might be. And maybe this is the time that the debt needs to be either repaid or renewed or something along those lines. That's what he thinks. He's not sure.
Basically, has he been too successful at not dying?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. thinking back to what Hiroshi's seen and read in terms of lineage whilst he's been there, and maybe he asks this of one of the more well-read members of the group. How long has this daimyo been in post versus his predecessors? Has he survived notably longer than the others?
Why don't we make I take it no one will have Lord Dragon, but does anybody have any kind of knowledge around, or does anybody have any merits and flaws, as it were, boons, whatever you want to call them, around like heraldry or any kind of skills like that, or any kind of advantages, disadvantages that would allow you to know about families and clans and things like that?
Not me.
Hiroshi absolutely doesn't, and Hiroshi also lacks the social graces enough to just say outright, how much longer have you been daimyo than your predecessors? Is that something that could have prompted the debt to be recollected?
Tazumi Nori has law history.
I knew we kept her around for a reason.
And she got a 22. Tazumi Nori sort of like steps up and says, well, I can tell you, and she sort of like starts to reel off sort of not quite verbatim, but sort of a general timeline for each of the previous predecessors, and they all seem to sort of be a daimyo for about 10 or 15 years, whereas the current reigning daimyo has been daimyo for 19 years.
And I'm just thinking, there are two lines. Think about some of the notes that we've had. The note we found at the watchtower mentioned that the oath was broken. Akari's note to us said that through silence the oath will break. Could the silence be the not giving up a memory on time?
Potentially.
Possibly.
Very close.
And again, Hiroshi, she's voicing this in front of everybody with absolutely zero decorum whatsoever.
That's fine.
Literally just thinking this through out loud in front of everyone, including the daimyo, and obviously Nori as well.
He already said so, the daimyo, right?
Yeah, he'd already kind of like said that he thinks that maybe that's something that needed to happen. But yeah, as soon as you kind of put them all together, actually the words start to make sense.
And we know, so following that thing, we've got through sacrifice the peak will shatter, which I'm guessing is the eruption. Through silence the oath will break. Beneath the stone the shadow waits. So above the flame the truth awakens. I can kind of track the first three, but I'm not really working. I can't sort of think about what above the flame might mean.
I think we need to put on fire the castle. That's what it means.
Do you say that?
We burn the castle to the ground.
Burn the castle.
I mean, it's an option,
nuke the
right?
site from orbit is the only way to be sure.
We just need to burn everything, cleanse the soil. That's it. No more Zurui. Done.
Well, it's the fact it says above the flame. So maybe on the peak of the volcano?
There are no flames on volcanoes.
But if you're being metaphorical, you've got all the red hot burny stuff, haven't you? Because Hiroshi, doesn't understand the concept of magma and lava and things like that.
The issue is that he lived too long. We could take care of that. Just, spitballing.
I want to give him a chance for an honorable way out through seppuku with his daughter.
Well, yeah, for him, at this point, the honorable way out would be killing himself.
Yeah, through seppuku with his daughter as a second.
But would that be enough to fulfill the debt? If he's incurred a new memory that needs to be surrendered,
it will not be him. He says, it's not me, and he looks over at his daughter.
The days of this clan making deals with these entities is over.
So, is the power attached to the room itself, or is there an object?
So the power is radiating from the shadow in the back of the room, which is that whole wall.
And what was the line about the fire again?
The line in the... I've closed on my notes.
So, through sacrifice, the peak will shatter. Through silence, the oath will break. Beneath the stone, the shadow waits. Above the flame, the truth awakens.
I think that means you need to cast Fireball on that shadow.
I was thinking that. Or at least illuminating the room to dispel the shadow.
Well, are you going to voice any of this? Or you're all pretty much like talking about it, or are you?
Yeah, I think.
Okay. So he goes over to the altar, and what looks like part of the altar he opens, and there is a scroll which he then places on the altar.
What is this?
This is the scroll, and I think, if I understand it, this is the scroll that has the pact on.
Interesting.
And what would happen if we destroyed it?
While Akira asks that.
Burn it. Burn it.
Just read it first.
You never want to
read it.
You never want to read a scroll that has like a compact in it between.
You should always read it out loud. Usually helps even better.
Yeah. Always read the demonic contract. That's what lawyers are for.
I've got an idea, and let me know what you think. Flame on its own is good, purifying, yes, but for something like this, I'm not sure if regular flame would be enough to cleanse the taint from the scroll and the pact and the souls of the people here. But what if we took it to a flame that is more powerful, that is stronger, that is ever burning, so that there won't be a chance for this to reforge? What if we took it to Mount Doom?
So what you need is 2 hobbits, a ring.
No. We just need some eagles.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, cut all the rest out. Yeah, that could be an option. You know, you need a powerful flame that would do something.
Cast us into the volcano.
I'm not against a little hoof up a mountain.
How far away is this mountain?
For you guys, it's probably about a 10-day trek deeper into the Dragonlands. We definitely can't do that in one more episode.
I mean, that sounds like a GM's problem to me.
I mean, it's fine. I mean, we could do a second season. I'm happy for that.
It would justify owning my Way of the Unicorn for more than 1 day.
I will turn to the daimyo and ask him, how did you interact with this scroll? Have you signed it? Have you spoken the words of it?
I opened it, I spoke it, and I committed a deep memory, which I sacrificed.
So I am wondering how do I want to put it? I want to see if I can remember various ways of binding one's self to a pact. So if he was to die right now, and if we were to go and cast this in off camera later on down the road, if she would be safe from this pact.
No, if it's a family sort of lineage thing, the moment he dies, she then has to do the pact.
What if she doesn't?
Then presumably the debt will still be owed, and they will take whatever the ask would be for whichever the debt might be. The only person that knows that, unfortunately, is no longer around.
Convenient.
Charlotte, why don't you make a spellcraft roll for me?
Why, certainly.
And then make a theology roll.
All that dice. Spellcraft 38, theology 30.
Very nice. Okay, well, there are multiple ways to fulfill these pacts. You would need to look at the contract to understand it fully. I mean, you can ask the daimyo what he remembers of the history behind it. Essentially, the summary would be that Zero Ito's bargain would be that he would basically offer up a forgotten oath, an unspoken truth, some kind of ancestral silence. Pretty much that the terms of the pact would be something like prosperity for silence, the lands would flourish, trade would return, enemies would falter. In exchange, each generation would surrender a truth, something vital, personal, and unspoken. Should they not do this, the pact will demand silence not just in speech, but in lineage, essentially ending the line of the Zero family. Names would fade, faces from memory, voices from dreams. Essentially, that family would be as if it never existed. And it looks like every generation must descend into the chamber and offer a truth withheld, a vow unspoken, or a memory erased. That's essentially what this pact would allow. And essentially, every sort of like 15 years or so, it appears to have happened. It appears that Aya has not done this. And it looks like her father has never explained this to her. And she's probably older than you would expect, like the heir to be. So clearly he's obviously been trying to protect her, but in doing so has then caused the oath to be pulled out and gone, actually, you owe us for the debt that you're supposed to do. Essentially, I needs to basically make a pact herself. And if she doesn't, her and the rest of her family will disappear.
That is a rock and a hard place, isn't it, really?
So as far as they can see, they've got three options.
What's Ai's reaction as she finds all of this out?
I mean, she's very much taken aback by the whole thing. She's very kind of stoic, and she hasn't sort of like, in true samurai fashion, she has not sort of like burst out into sort of like, how dare you, or anything like that. She's kind of like nodded and sort of like been very kind of quiet. Like you imagine that she must be going through this whole sort of like journey about what she should do for her duty, what she should do for her family, what she should do for her clan, and what is the right thing to do. The daimyo looks to you and says, I will do whatever is required of me, but I do not wish my daughter to be part of this. I'm happy to do whatever is required.
Can another clan take on this oath, more or less, freeing their clan?
Yep, you could do that.
Even though the power source emanates from within their lands?
Yeah, it just means that if, say, for example, if you wanted to do that, for example, then you would be the one bound to that pact. So you could create a brand new pact.
And like, say, I don't know, the Kitsune clan can take over the Mantis clan?
I mean, that's...
the Kitsune family, I should say.
Yeah, that's something. If you wanted to write that into the pact, you could do something, say, like that.
Bring back the... what's the name of their old clan?
The Fox clan.
The Fox clan, yes.
Yep, you can do that.
Are you saying any of this out in the open?
No, I'm asking the GM.
Hell no. Murder Akira now. Murder everyone, kill him.
I will put my fireball away.
Yeah, so essentially, that's something that can be done.
Is that something that Akira would know? He has no lore of any kind.
No, I mean, Ayame would be able to... would say, I would imagine, in the discussion of what that could be done. So yeah, somebody else could take the pact. Obviously, it says at the moment that the lineage is Ayame, but sorry, Aya.
Aya.
But yeah, you could quite easily take that on. So as long as you gave up that, then you would divert that to you, and then save the Zurui family from any more issue. But then you would essentially take that pact off of them. And you can either continue the same, or you could rewrite the pact. You could destroy the pact and try and break it, or you could renew it. So that's the three kind of choices that you probably have. But how you do that, that's another thing entirely.
I ask him, will you break the pact to save your daughter?
He looks over at his daughter and says, of course I would. On my life I would.
Then that is what you must do.
If he breaks the pact, he's saving her from the duty, but dooming her to never have children, and the dragon would be descending.
Then one of us must take up this burden.
That gets a raised eyebrow from Hiroshi.